Okay, hey everyone, I'm Keisha White, founder and creative director at White House Branding Studio. We help companies create brands that help them attract more clients and that help them make a statement and stand out. Description with this video, and you'll be able to get the on working together. Looks like my video is buffering a little weird. And if you happen to be on and you hear sound issues, let me know. I may have to possibly exit the StreamYard studio and come back because it's kind of buffering a little weird. But hopefully I can get through it. So I'm going to try to be quick. But anyway, so in today's topic or today's video, I'm going to be talking about a client case study. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes of the typical process that we take clients through when they're working through a branding and web design process, particularly if they're doing a rebrand. This is kind of the start to finish process. And rebrands are really one of my favorite types of projects to work on because the before and after is always like night and day when you compare like what the client started with versus where they end up at the end of the process. It's so fun to watch their transformation. So today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite rebrands that I've done for a consulting firm. And the consulting firm is called Reimagine Talent Company. And when they came to us, the whole reason why they wanted to get a rebrand is because they had an older brand that wasn't really positioning their business for their future vision, basically. So they wanted something that was more in alignment with where they were going in the future. And then they wanted a new name that could encompass like all of their service offerings because before their previous company name was called College Code. And it was, I think, more focused on workforce development, but they wanted to do more than workforce development. They wanted to offer consulting solutions for corporations and not just be pigeonholed in that workforce development area. And so they wanted a brand that was going to really help them stand out. And then they wanted a new brand that was going to help them really position themselves as like a top consulting firm in what they do by quickly establishing trust and credibility so they could attract more of those corporate clients that they were looking for. So that was the whole reason why they were ready for that rebrand. And then I'm not 100% sure where their previous logo and design came from. I can't remember if they DIY'd or if it was something that they got another designer to do. But anyhow, there was an old brand that started out like this. So this was their old logo for their previous business name, College Code. And then their old website is over here to the left of this before page. And as you can see, the College Code logo is there at the top. And this page was just very, very plain, if I had to give a critique to it. And it didn't necessarily establish much authority. It sort of established authority with the logos section here, because logos are always a thing that people use on websites to kind of boost their authority. But as far as the design goes, the design definitely looked very DIY, very plain, because a lot of times what people end up doing if they are DIYing and they're not really sure what to do with the design, they'll end up just making it look sort of plain and just letting it stay simple, which is okay if your business is starting out. But when you're ready to kind of advance and you want to establish higher level of trust and credibility and look like a more credible higher end business, that plain look looks too amateur. So this was where they started. So back to the design process. So what our mission was to do, we wanted to help them relaunch with that new name change and with that new brand that's going to encompass both the workforce development side and the corporate services as well. And so what they ended up doing when they came to us is that they decided to do the brand strategy and copywriting, and they did brand identity design. And then we designed a whole new 5-page website, and they got new collateral design too. So in a little bit, I'll go over the collateral to show like how the new branding was not only used on the website, but how it was also used on collateral items to help them maintain that cohesive professional look no matter where people found their company. So for the first step, they started the process with our copywriter, Courtney. So Courtney Bowden, I was working with her for at least I feel like a couple of years as a copywriter on a lot of my client projects. So Courtney has since moved on to do bigger, better things. So I have different copywriters I partner with now. But at this time, Courtney was the copywriter who I partnered with on this project, and she led their kickoff strategy session. So in Courtney's sessions, I love those so much because she asks the most in-depth, pointed questions all about a business and all about a brand and what makes them special and how do they want to show up. What are their service offerings? Who are those people that they want to appeal to? She goes very, very deep to get all of the background information of what she needs to be able to write effective website copy. And so since she and I, when we do our kickoff calls, like the kickoff questions that I ask, they're also very similar to Courtney's questions as well, that the kind of questions I would ask for a brand strategy session. So instead of doing two different calls, we end up just consolidating it into one call, so the clients only have to do one like long, in-depth kickoff call like that. So she handled the kickoff call with that deep strategy session to get all the background information on the business. And then she ends up handing those notes over to me, and then I get into the design process. So the first step of my design process, once I'm taking a look at the notes and then I'm kind of reviewing it and I'm trying to see, okay, what direction are we taking this design in? Like, how do I want this business to show up? The first step for that is to develop a mood board. So here is the image of their brand mood board. And we originally had two options. So a part of my process as well is giving the client two options for them to select from for their mood board and color palette. So the mood board is essentially this collage of images that's all merged together, that's showing the desired look and feel for the brand. So it's showing like, okay, we're going to get photography in this style to represent the brand, and here's why. And it's showing the colors in the color palette and why those colors were selected. And so for the mood board that we landed on, we wanted it to feel very just vibrant, very fresh, very innovative. It also needed to exude a sense of connection and also a sense of hope, because a lot of their mission was to kind of reimagine the workplace, hence their name. So they wanted to show like, we're going to have innovative solutions. It's going to inspire hope in your employees, and it's going to help create better connection within the employees. And so that's where this whole like fresh, vibrant, welcoming, connected look and feel came from for the mood board. And then for this triangle pattern, so the word mosaic came up during the kickoff session with Courtney. And so mosaic is when like these different pieces all fit together to form like one image. And so hearing that word mosaic come up in the strategy session inspired me to kind of take it a little literally and to make a sort of mosaic out of shapes for this brand as an accent pattern. And so that is how this whole triangle shapes came about. And then it also came about too is because we wanted to go with just a 3-color color palette. So in one of the original, I think probably in both of the original mood boards, I believe there was maybe 4, maybe 5 colors. The 5th was probably a neutral though. But anyway, but the client wanted to keep the color palette bold, but also simple at the same time. So she wanted to narrow down to just 3 colors in the color palette. So we went with the mustard yellow. And this was mustard yellow was actually a color from their previous branding. As you can see, it showed up in the previous brand in color, college code, not color, I was going to say color code. But she wanted to kind of recycle that color, but revamp it and revive it per se with these 2 new accent colors. And so I ended up using this shade of blue that represents trustworthiness and professionalism. So that's why that was chosen. And then really the yellow, even though it was a previous color, it still was in good alignment with where the brand was going, because yellow represents like joy and optimism. So that's a good color if you want a brand that represents hope. And then the last color was like a coral, like a coral orange color. And so coral was good because it represents like being innovative or being a little unconventional. So this was their little color trifecta here, these 3 colors here. And it was completely inspired by their particular branding strategy, and all from the information that came from that kickoff call that they did with the copywriter. Because when I'm making branding decisions, it's never done on a whim, on just like, oh, this just feels cute, or these are some pretty cute colors. Like, I do not believe in that type of branding at all, because really you could be making mistakes in your brand if you just brand things with no thought behind it and no meaning behind it. Because all of these little elements that you're selecting when it comes to design, like all of those elements are creating a certain message subconsciously and communicating a certain message subconsciously in your target clients. So if you're selecting things on a whim, you could unknowingly be communicating the wrong message to your target clients. So this is why everything that was selected here in the mood board connects back to what the brand needed to represent, what their mission is, and all of that. And so board was nailed down. Then the next step in the process was to develop their logo designs. So as I'm developing logo designs, I do always start with some sketches. These are not the prettiest sketches at all. Actually can't draw, even though I'm a designer. I can do wonders with Photoshop, but on paper, I can't do anything. I'm not gifted with illustration skills. So anyway, but I started out with logos on paper. That's always the beginning. And the intention behind these logos was to create something that was going to feel, you wanted it to feel very modern, very fresh, and a little bit bold and innovative too. And just very energized as well was kind of the feel. I feel like energized would probably be the best word, to be honest, because like the movement here with the loop around with the letters and the little shine kind of coming out of the letter I here, that was kind of to represent like, yeah, something energizing and bold is about to happen here. And then even this one was inspired by the mosaic. I don't even know if I created this in Photoshop. And then this one was just kind of that movement again. This one was kind of inspired more by innovation to kind of turn the RE in a different direction to make it feel a little unique and different. And then even this one too, to just not have the letters all in one line and like that boring traditional way, to feel innovative, to feel a little unconventional. Decided to do the E with a little line around it. And then this one down in the right-hand corner was inspired by the whole mosaic look and feel that was brought up in this strategy session. So with those little triangles with the accent pattern, first it was an accent pattern. And then I ended up taking it from an accent pattern to a little icon to create a logo out of it. So yeah, that definitely went through some different iterations for sure. And I'm trying to see if I can find a document with those logos on a page, because I didn't put them in this case study. I just see one for right now, so I'll just pull that up. And so here is how the logos ended up coming out on once I got them over to Photoshop. So here they are. So for the one with the icon, that's number one, and that actually ended up being the final logo. Then number two, it was kind of the RE was a little bit smaller with the underline, because it was like read then imagine to kind of show reimagine. So yeah, so that was kind of the non-traditional way to put reimagine. And then option 3 here was a reimagine with the extra triangles. Looking back at this, to me, probably just the top triangles would have been enough here. But anyhow, this was one iteration of logos. And then they ended up picking logo number 1, ended up being the final pick. So that's the one that they went with for the rebrand. And honestly, to me, that one really was the perfect option for this. This is the logo after, because the little trifecta of icons to show the mosaic coming up was just perfect for them and for their business. And I have a little GIF I made here with the little triangles coming up. So this was our final logo afterwards. And then after logo design is done, then I do the rest of the brand style guide for clients. And so a brand style guide is a branding document. So in that document, it has all the guidelines for your visual brand. And so in there, this final logo was in there. There were also alternate versions of the logo created as well with the icon. And then the words moved all on one horizontal line. And what else is in there? The font pairing is in there too. So there was a designated font pairing for headline font and paragraph font for this particular client's brand. And then those color codes were in the style guide as well. So the exact color code, so the clients can go out, get things created with the exact same colors everywhere. And then the accent pattern was in there too. So the brand accent pattern was included. And then there's all these suggestions in the style guide on how the company can actually use those elements moving forward in their business. And so once the brand style guide was all finished, then we ended up going to website design. And so as I'm starting websites too, I bring my little the sketch skills back into play. And it starts on paper. So each page design is sketched out with kind of a plan for like what's going to be where, what sections are going to have a background image, what sections should have a color, like where should a little accent pattern go, what shape are the images going to be. And so that all starts out on paper with just kind of planning it first and just coming up with the idea. And the reason why is because we do all custom website design. None of the websites are templates that I'm designing as a professional design studio. Everything is custom to each client, so that way they all can have their special, unique, standout look. And so when you are designing something from scratch that's custom, you have to start out with fleshing out all of your creative ideas on paper first. So as you can see, kind of the homepage sketch, the plan here was to have a full width image there at the top banner. Then the triangles were coming into play here. So I was planning to put 3 images here with each image in the shape of a triangle to pull in that mosaic, like trifecta effect from the logo again. Then there was a section for their partner logos, then the solutions with little squares sticking out from each solution. And then we go into this page. I believe this was an about page probably. And then we have little triangles accent on the side of an image there to pull a little bit of that in. Then what they believe numbered here, the numbers are going to be next to the words for all of that. So they are kind of messy, of course, definitely don't look anything like what the real preview page designs end up looking like, but they help me get out all of my ideas, and then you're able to bring it to life online. So again, on the left, this was the old website before. And then over here on the right is the website after. So now you can see my little sketch has come to life. The full width image is here at the top. And the triangle, like trifecta with the pictures in triangle form, are here to the right, just like I planned in my sketch. And then all the partner logos underneath down here. And then here's some other pages of the site. And this was site just really came together so well with all of the triangle accents. So on this page here to the left, Talent Solutions, we have another full width image, but we also have a blue background here. And then I switched the triangles out to white on the blue to just still pull in our trifecta mosaic feel, but a little subtly with the blue as the background color. And then the question marks to kind of let those pop against the blue in the other color, the coral and the yellow from the palette. And then on the solutions, I put in the triangular shapes because this page had there are 3 categories of solutions: the workforce development, talent development, and I forgot what the third one was. It's cut off here. But for each solution, I've used a triangle with the color behind it. So this one was triangle with yellow. The next one was triangle with coral. And the final one was triangle with blue to just kind of give you some visual interest. Because one thing I loved with the triangle pictures, again, with them being unconventional and being a company that wanted to be viewed as innovative, doing all the pictures in a square is so basic. So cutting some of them out in a triangle made them feel very forward thinking and very innovative when you mix it up with the image shapes like that. And then this page here in the middle, this was a courses page. So this one just had nice clean white space at the top. Then we had the little triangle accent over here to the left again. And then a little image here with some of the coral peeking out from behind the image to give a little accent there. And then this other third page here, these little icons. I love these icons because this was a section about, I think, the benefits of their course here, their course offerings. So we had a nice blue background, and then each icon popped really well on top of the blue, just like over here with the yellow, and then the coral and yellow, and then there was one more coral that's cut off. And then a couple of other little details. I need to zoom in a bit. We ended up for another fun, unconventional, innovative type of accent. I wanted to do triangular bullet points. So the design included bullet points in the shape of triangles, like in a coral color. So even though they're really tiny on here, but right here you can see the little triangular bullet points in the what you'll gain section right here. So that just gives a whole new different spin on bullet points and gives them like a feeling of their own. And then down in the Meet Your Instructor section, there's a little bit of an accent pattern strip going into opening that section. So yes, so after the website was all done, we also did branding for other items in their business. So one of the best things about getting professional branding done and a brand style guide is that you can use all of those elements in your brand style guide to brand everything that you're going to be putting out to the public to represent your business. And really, that's the absolute best way to go if you're trying to position your business as a serious one. And especially if you're rebranding, you want everything to be cohesive everywhere. You don't want some items to have your old branding and some of them to have the new branding and it looked all mixed up. Like you wanted everything to look like it flows and it goes together like a cohesive professional company. So they ended up getting collateral design as well. So we had a new strategic alliances document designed. And as you can see, compared to the website, it matches very, very well. We have the logo up here in the upper left-hand corner. The stock image has colors from their color palette kind of popping out in the stock image. The coral, yellow, and blue are all very prevalent in this document to pull the color tones in again, and then a little bit of the accent pattern at the bottom again. And then even in her speaker one sheet, that was also branded to match. So we had the blue background, similar to some of the blue backgrounds on the website, with the triangular pattern as the little accent subtly there. And then we had the biography section opening up with the coral, and then the trusted by with the yellow, and the programs with the blue. So that's kind of a similar thing as what I did with the triangles here, like this triangle, the yellow for this category, coral for this category, and then there was a blue that's cut off here. And then there was also a capability statement. So this one was done with a nice clean top heading here. And then the capability shows each category in its little own header here. And then they also got PowerPoint slides branded too. So they really went all out with getting everything very cohesive because they deliver a lot of PowerPoint presentations and trainings in their work. So they wanted to just be prepared for that and just ready to go with branded PowerPoint slides that they could use to go ahead and put their information on and to give those presentations to their clients. So the PowerPoint slides looked beautiful with the logo down in the corner. This is a cover slide here. This was like a question slide. So like this nice bold yellow question mark was over to the left and the room for question on the right. Then a little quick tip section right here with the image over to the left and words on the right. Then another slide with the triangles up in the corner. Then a blue white section slide. So the slides looked very, very pretty to really, really match everything else in the business. So everything really looks like a beautiful professional consulting firm that has a cohesive image. They were ready to go out and pursue the opportunities that they wanted to pursue. They were able to do that fresh new launch, and they launched it out on social media. And then they were able to go out and achieve their goals in their business to acquire the clients that they wanted. The conversion rate on the email opt-ins is really good on the website at 31.5% too, which is way past the industry average. And this has just really set a really strong foundation for them. So now they don't even have to worry about branding anymore. They don't have to worry about having an outdated image at all. They don't have to worry about giving off the wrong impression to their target clients. Like, they can market themselves with confidence and get in front of those decision makers with confidence, knowing that they're being represented in the best way possible. Because that's really what it's all about when it comes to branding. It's like your branding and your marketing works hand in hand. But in order for your marketing or whatever your strategies are for acquiring clients, in order for those strategies to be effective, you have to make sure you're presenting your business in the absolute best way possible. So people are going to have the right impression of your business. They're going to understand that your business is of a high caliber. It's one to take seriously. It's a force to be reckoned with. And that's really what branding does for a company. It just establishes more trust and it establishes more authority as you go out and pursue your opportunities. And then it also helps you stand out from the competition. Like, that's one of my favorite things too, because I look at websites all day, every day as a part of this work that I do. And still to this day, I have not seen a website that looks like this. I've never created any others that look like this. Even in looking at other websites in the consulting industry, I never see any that look like this. So they truly do have a very unique visual style that is definitely setting them apart in their industry. So that's another big benefit. You don't want to blend in with the crowd. You want to stand out when it comes to your look, because as we all know, the decision makers, when they're deciding what firm or what company to go with, they're inundated with a lot of options. So when you have a unique standout look, your brand is going to stick in their mind a little bit more than some of the other ones that have a more basic kind of blending in with the crowd type of look. So I was just really, really excited for this project. Like I said, Courtney and I worked together on this one to develop, and she developed all the copywriting. So all these words and wording here that you see on the website was developed by our copywriter, very talented copywriter. She was able to help them really gain that clarity on their brand messaging. She asked questions that made them think about things that they weren't even thinking about before. And she provided excellent, high quality copywriting to really enhance the design. So when that professional, good copy comes with the design and things merge together, it's just really a wonderful, wonderful marketing tool to support your business in all that you're trying to pursue. So if you want to work together for branding and website design, clarifying your strategy for your brand, your messaging, all those things with me and with the copywriters and the rest of everyone else, make sure you click the link in the description with this video, and you can schedule a free strategy session to get started, and we can talk all about your business, where you are now, where you want things to go in the business, and we can talk about a game plan for your brand and for your website. So thanks so much for checking out the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.